got a feeling I'm about to get put on. I got a feeling that something finna take off. I got a feeling, and it won't be too much longer. Got a feeling coming up on the.
Welcome back to another special episode of Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip-hop music. I'm very happy today because I am welcoming back somebody that I know very well. He's a very talented artist. Scratch the artist. Let's say musician across the board. Probably the most talented person that I've met within the city limits. He's been gone a little while, so I like to say welcome back, eBay. How are you doing, brother?
All is well, man. All is well. It's good to be home. Just thank you for another chance and another opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I'll start with that first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's just good to be back on the south side, you know? Just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, so since we're talking about you coming back, I want to ask, what was it that you learned while you was away?
Time, man. When you locked up, you sitting behind the bars, you ain't got nothing but time to think. You know what I'm saying? So really the main thing is time and just evaluating who I am at the end of the day. What I really want to do, you know, what's my next move? And, you know, how can I be a help to my community? That's a lot that I've learned. You know, everybody make bad choices in life, but it's a choice and a decision that you make if you're going to continue to do these things, or if you're going to be like, hey, let me put away these foolish things and really focus on who I am at the end of the day. Let me self-evaluate and check myself and walk upright and independent, you know? Yeah.
Man, so tell the people about your plans musically, man, if you care to share, you know.
Really, this go around, you know, I'm gonna do it this way different, man. I'm gonna do everything strictly business-wise. Everybody want me to do music and post. So I only posted one video and didn't even really want to do that, honestly. I just did it just because people wanted to hear, but I'm not going to be doing those videos like how y'all used to see me do. I'm doing everything professionally-wise. I'm going to do everything strictly business. And I figure nobody's going to actually take you serious if you don't have the visuals. Nobody's going to actually take you serious if you're just doing videos like how I used to do. And not saying nothing is wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just me being locked up, I learned a lot of things. What was my mistakes? Where was I lacking it? You know what I'm saying? And that had a big part to do with it, with me giving y'all my songs. And here it is at the end of the day, no mixtape, no album. Because I was just giving y'all the music. But just go around, like I say, I'm doing everything strictly business. Just go right. I got a lot of good people in my corner, a lot of good support. Thanks to Cornbread as well, taking the time out to come do this here with me. Like, those type of people, that's the type of peoples that, you know, you need around you. Because success is everything, man, especially when you're building it with the right team. So a lot of people that want to know what's going on with the music, I'd rather not say, but I just know that this go around, everything is going to be strictly business. And when things do get in motion and all this type of stuff, you know, it's going to be on all platforms. Just let me say that to where y'all can go actually download certain music from eBay. So that's how I'm going to do it this go around for the fans, all my social media friends, family, loved ones. You know, y'all just stay tuned. Just bear with me because like I said, I got lyrics for days that I just came home with. You know what I'm saying? I'm just continually writing, continually staying focused. Because I know this time go around is going to be out of my element too. I'm not going to understand, but I am going to understand because it's a gift that I'm going to use wisely. You know what I'm saying?
What have you thought about, since you've been away, it's been a lot happened musically, and we can start with mainstream music at large before we get down to Beaumont, because I know that's a heavy conversation within itself. But I'm gonna say with mainstream music, what were the changes that you noticed within mainstream music? Do you like it? Did you not like it? How do you feel about mainstream music within the past 2 years or so?
Well, me, man, I'm gonna say this up, bro. Like, I grew up under the old law, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's new. It can be complicated as well too, but I'm more of like, I'd rather get out and go grind it myself and step out in schools promoting, doing all these things like how they used to do, because the stuff that they have now, man, when we was coming up, they didn't have all that. They didn't have all that streaming, and it's either you was gonna go put in that work, you was gonna get off your ass, and you was gonna go out there in them streets and grind for it, selling the CDs, promoting and pushing. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the streaming thing, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have the correct algorithm, and what I mean about the algorithm, if you don't have the correct hashtags and where the places to put these things, where's your marketing and all these type of things, then you'll just be an artist or a musician or whatever your criterion is, just doing music just to be doing it. So the streaming thing, it's okay, it's cool, but I care less for it. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta stay in the wave though. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing the music, you have to stay in the wave. If that's what's going on, then guess what? I know something should click in my head and be like, all right, this was going on. Let me go study about the algorithm. And the reason why I say that, by me being in incarceration, you know, I studied these things. I studied everything that pretty much had to do with music of something that I love. If you ever want to leave somebody in the blind, what they say, just put it in the book, because they know 9 times out of 10 that black person ain't gonna pick up a book. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I went educate myself. And for us, me educating myself, like I say, I knew I was lacking it. I knew I was falling. So this, like I say, this go around, you know, whether they want to, if I'm a stream, I know my hashtags. I know the certain things that I have to post and what markets to put it in, you know. So that's a good step, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm saying it's a good step, not because I didn't know, but I know now are the things that I learned, or the things that I've studied that can put me in a position that I can tap in with certain people that know more about the self, you know. So streaming of thing, it's okay. Like I say, I really cut left for it.
I do want to, in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of conversations about streaming. There's people been talking about starting their own sites to combat streaming. And another thing that I've also been looking into, see, I went back to the physicals. I went back and pressed up my music, and not large amounts, just enough. Just for those people who still want something that they can hold in their hand, pop in their car, or play at their house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, most cars now, they come with flash drives. They don't come with CD players no more. There's also flash drives that can be made with your music on it too.
All right.
So I've been kind of implementing the physical to combat the streaming thing, because most people, see, they messed it up when they changed the way we consume music. We used to have to go buy it out the store. Now we can just download it to our phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now with that, most people are listening to it through a device, phone or a computer. And very few are, I would say, the people who grew up under the old law is the still people that rock CDs or would buy physical CDs. It's not that many, which is why I press up a little bit, but that's the way to, I guess that's my way of combating this streaming thing, because I don't necessarily believe in it 100%. And I believe it's beating a lot of artists.
Right, it is.
You know what I'm saying? So, but, okay, now we talked about mainstream. Let's talk about music from the city, from Beaumont, Texas. I know this is a heavy subject.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we got to be real about it. So, I would say, how do you feel about the music that's been coming out of here in the past 2 years or so?
Man, I'm going to be honest, man. Me being home and me coming home from prison, and I've been hearing stuff. Me, honestly, man, everybody have their own style. That's cool. But what a real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing, man. Like, me posting that video, and not to get off the subject, me posting that video, it felt good to hear somebody say, dang, man, we've been missing this type of music. You know what I'm saying? You know how much of an honor that is, because it's always somebody out there that'll listen to your music and be like, damn, this nigga really be rapping about some real stuff, like his story. You know what I'm saying? It's just like nowadays, this rap now, if it ain't drilling or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? You really right. They'll look at you like, oh, you're not in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not in our category, you know what I'm saying? Because it's drill, so we drilling. You know what I'm saying? We want to rap about just guns and talking, degrading the women and stuff. And then you got the women that's degrading themselves just for the men. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not real music. But I'm not knocking nobody for what they do at the end of the day, because your craft and your talent, that's your talent. Your voice is your opinion on how you really feel within yourself. But I grew up under, like I say, man, that old law, man, storytelling. I want to grab somebody that can make them elaborate to, I've been through that, and I feel what this guy going through. So at the end of the day, like, a lot of that music, I care less of hearing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't nothing that can move me or touch me, that'll have me like, oh yeah, homie, you talking about something. Then I just like listen to it and be like, okay, it's all right, fam. But one thing about me, honesty and truth is everything. A lot of these people make this type of music because they have people that surround them that's boosting their ego and be like, hey man, like that shit go hard. It got to the point where everybody think they can rap now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you put real rappers and these shit type of rappers, you never how these some celebrities make them one-hit wonders. That's how this it is now. Everybody looking to try to shoot this one song to become a one-hit wonder to do their thing. But at the end of the day, guess what? A good artist, it's difference between a rapper and an artist. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the one that's going to sell. Everything that you're going to do, you got to know that it got to sell. I'm not just going to stick to this one type of rap music or drilling. And at the end of the day, guess what? That only sells for so long. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you get in these other categories, you got to think big. And when you're setting them goals of being, when you're doing this type of music, like, it's crazy because some people don't even really have that momentum of energy doing that type of stuff. They just do it because they be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do this here. If they doing it, I can do it. But that's the difference. Some of this shit be our jobs and they don't even understand that. You know what I'm saying? When you eat, sleep, and breathe the music, you know what I'm saying? That's different between somebody but like, oh, let me go give me a pen and pad and just walk up in the studio, or just let me go in the studio and punch in and punch out and do some music. Nah, I'm a rapper. No, you're not. You're not a rapper. You know what I'm saying? You're a person that's putting words together. That's me just speaking the truth. You know what I'm saying? But it takes hard work and dedication, putting in that grind. You know what I'm saying? Putting in that effort. But like, far as the music that they got going on now, like, it's cool business. That's them. But I don't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm under that real rap shit. You know
I understand.
If it ain't real rap shit, what they be saying? If it ain't real rap, then it's cap, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, well, you're so diverse musically. I probably have not met somebody who is so diverse. I mean, when it comes to, because originally when I met you, I thought you was a singer. Mm-hmm. And then I heard you rap and I said, well, damn, wait a minute, he could rap too. And then, you know, I'm hearing more music and I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I find out you can actually play instruments. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, that puts you in a whole nother realm as far as music, because most people who are involved with music within the city, they either rap or they sing. You rarely come across somebody who's a rapper who makes their own tracks,
right? Except
for, you know, artists like Playmaker, yourself, and I could maybe think of one other person that does that from the city. You know what I'm saying? But versatility. Explain to the people the beauty and the art of versatility, because that's something that I feel is missing from the equation when you talk about artists and in particular rappers.
Mm-hmm.
Versatility.
So versatility, like, honestly, man, when I first started doing music, man, I remember like yesterday, I was like 5, 7 years old. I started off in the drums, you know what I'm saying? Never knew how to play them. But I used to watch my dad, you know what I'm saying? They had like a gospel group. I started off in the church house, though, by the way, you know what I'm saying? I started off in the church house. But the sound that I would be hearing, it was like, I already knew I had a gift in the collar because it caught my attention. So I was like, man, I want to learn how to play these drums, you know what I'm saying? Until one day, you don't know what you can do until you get behind it and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people degrading feel themselves by doubting themselves because they're afraid to, what I want to say, they're afraid of rejecting a failure. You know what I'm saying? So I started doing the drums. Nobody ever taught. I taught myself. Therefore, you know it, as I'm playing the drums, I hear these certain tunes that would always go off in my head. So I was like, man, I'm knowing this got to be from a piano. Wind up picking the piano up. Picked up the acoustic guitar. You know what I'm saying? Make beats. Sing. Rap. There ain't nothing under the sky that I can't do. And it's just like when you're speaking on the versatility, you can put me in any wave. Well, you want country, you want blues, you want Zydeco, you want some little pop, you want a little rock. I can give you any song or anything from that caliber. You know what I'm saying? And that's on versatility. You know what I'm saying? Being a versatile artist, being a versatile musician, being a versatile singer. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people is many are called and few are chosen, and a lot of people don't get a chance and opportunity to actually have that type of talent. You know what I'm saying? So with me having those trades and those skills, you know, all praise to Allah. I thank him. I thank him for that because nobody ever sat down and be like, hey, let me show you how to play this. Or, hey, let me show you how to do this. It was just me having the ear for music, me having the ambitions to want more, to learn more in the music and rapping and singing and playing. So being versatile, you know, you got to really step out of your element and do something that you've never done. Like challenge yourself as an artist. Like, let me see if I can go make me a nice hard rock and roll song. Or let me see if I can go make me a hot country song. Or let me see if I can go make a good poet song. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's stepping out of your race, that's you challenging yourself to be versatile of doing something different. Because you got to know, people going to look at you the way that you look at yourself. When you face yourself in the mirror, they going to look at you exactly how you look at yourself. There's only two people in the world, the ones that's doing it and the ones that's in the way. So you got to figure out which one are you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So challenge yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. I can guarantee you that it's not easy, but guess what? Anything that happened once, it'll never happen again. If it happened twice, it's bound to happen the third time. So just keep the grind, keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Just try stepping out your element and being versatile within your craft with the things that you love to do. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I always ask everybody this question, and I've remixed the question because rap music has been going on for almost 51 years at this point.
Right.
So I'm going to ask, does eBay have a top 10 best rappers?
Top 10, man. Only thing I can say is this here, man. My top 10 rappers, I ain't gonna lie. I fuck with the Helvo, man. That's my nigga. Me and Helvo go way back. Excuse me, man. Me and Helvo, we go way back. Like, me and her brothers and them was gifted, but she off the rip one of my top fives. You know what I'm saying? Including myself. You know what I'm saying? I like Bread music. I like my boy Billy Gates music. And I mess with Tom T music, you know what I'm saying? Like, but me personally, if I had to choose, those would be my five, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here tripping. I like that boy, my kinfolk E-Body music, man, and Quincy and them, man. They make some good ass music too, man. But honestly, I ain't gonna have no top five. It's just those are people music who I like, especially Helvo. She be talking that shit. You know what I'm saying? Anything that got great music in me, like I say, I can't really just pick. I just know that if you doing music and that's what you're doing, like congrats to you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's talent floating everywhere in Beaumont. Let's just be real. But how can everybody fulfill that talent if nobody's trying to come together? Everybody putting I did this or I did that. The hell with what you did. You know what I'm saying? Let's all come together and put some shit together, man, and blow Beaumont up and open the doors for our own way. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the top 10, I don't have one because I like everybody music who making something that's right. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about something. If they ain't talking about nothing, then I'm not talking to those people. But the ones who stand on the spotlight with their crafts in the studios, putting in that hard work, that hard grind, my head go out to you. I'm gonna give you your flowers and your roses while you're here. But
I was gonna ask you about the division because, you know, I can ask this question 1,000 times and get the similar answer or different answers about artists in Beaumont, but I still keep going back to the fact of, yeah, it's talent out here, but it's a lot of division.
A lot of division.
And a lot of division for a lot of different reasons. Now, for what I can speak on.
And that's a good topic that you said there, Brad. I'm listening to you, though.
I'm going to say the division, you know, if we was to look at rap's history.
Right.
Like, for instance, let's look at Atlanta, for example. Atlanta at one point was just any other city in America. Prior to the explosion of Jermaine Dupri, prior to the explosion of Organized Noise, Outkast, Goody Mob.
Goody Mob.
Okay. Now, after that point, if you notice, all of them was working together. All of them was in each other's videos, featuring on each other's albums. And before you know it, the Atlanta thing snowballed into, I mean, one would say they done had the ball in their court for over 20 years now. And that's because they worked together. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't have no problems with each other. I'm pretty sure they did. But those issues or whatever problems they had, they didn't stop Atlanta from gaining what they needed to gain as far as their footing within hip hop.
Right.
And if Beaumont looked at that for a blueprint, it would be a great place. But there's a lot of division. And
a lot of it.
You know,
and you know that comes that you said that. Then we have to think about the facts. A lot of them don't know that history of that music. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of them don't know that history. Like when we growing up, you know what I'm saying? These people that was before us putting it down. Rest in peace, Pimp C. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Bun B. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Boosie and all of them. You know what I'm saying? DJ Screw, all these ones who've been doing this Big Pokey, Lil Kiki, Lil Flip, all these people been doing this man. You know what I'm saying? These are icon legends. Devin the Dude. Hey, these are real legends that's been in the game. You know what I'm saying? And something that's way before my time that I don't even know. These are the ones who set the tone for hip hop, for our black culture. So the thing that I figure that the thing that really mess up Beaumont is unity and pride. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got their pride in the way of what can be missing out on their blessing. Some of them can have their foot right in the door, but being that hothead of, oh, I did this here, you know what I'm saying? I did this for Beaumont. You know what I'm saying? And like, I just really wish we can all put that to the side and just work as one whole. like that movie Drumline say, one band, one sound, man. Because if we move as an army, who can defeat us? Who can stop Bowman? Man, we are the most dangerous area to come to and rank number 2 in the whole world. We are ranked number 2. So we don't want to be known for the dangerous place to come to. You know what I'm saying? We are a voice. You know what I'm saying? Why not use our voice for our own good? You know what I mean? A lot of us using our voices and our talent for the wrong reasons. And another thing for us, like the unity with us, a lot of them haven't even tapped into who they really are at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Once they can actually figure out who they is at the end of the day and what they calling is and what they want to do, they can make it better. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's crazy. It's crazy that there's no unity when it comes to the music. A lot of people don't want to work with this other person because of the envy, the jealousy. Oh, this person think he this, or she thinks she that.
Don't forget the ego.
You know what I'm saying? You're right. And the egos is all at a sky high. You know what I mean? Sometimes people need to get knocked down off their horse to get back to the drawing board. And like I say, with me being in incarceration, I never had the hot head. I always try to stay humble because the quicker he can give it, the quicker he can take it. You know what I'm saying? And I refuse to do that. You know what I mean? I can sit here and do this till today tomorrow, and guess what? I'm still going to walk like I'm a normal human being at the end of the day because I want the world to know, like, eBay loves music. That's his passion. That's his job. I don't do that just to do it. You know what I mean? But I like for us to be together, man, because I know if we can sit here and have a big ass meeting that Bowman done tried so many times from what I can recall of trying to have a sit down with some of the hottest artists and put some things together. And guess what? Somebody don't want to do it because of this. Somebody don't want to do it because of that. They don't want to do it because of this or this other person. Man, the hell with all that. Put the differences to the side, man, and let's pull our city back together, get our kids together. You know what I'm saying? Bring the unity back to our communities for the kids to make their futures bright. And man, I promise you, man, this shit can take off to a whole nother level, but everybody has to be on the same accord.
I want to ask you about the kids because we are both parents, and I see, you know, I was a kid and I was influenced by rap, but the influence is a little different in my day. I mean, in my day, we listened to rap and it was just the music that we listened to. And when we turned the tape off or the CD off and went outside, the music we listened to didn't dictate our lives.
It didn't.
Today, it's a whole different story. Rappers have now replaced the role models that used to be mother and father. So whether we want to believe it or not, it has happened.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, a lot of young kids, you know, they listen to these rappers and it's almost like these rappers are their parents. Mm-hmm. And whatever they saying is whatever these kids is living. Now, we can say that a lot of the rap that are listened to by kids or that is projected to children, mm-hmm. it's not really for children.
It's not.
And I find that a problem because I have a son. My son is not allowed to listen to noise pollution. Mm-hmm. And that's because me and his mother had a conversation. Right. And she was like, hey, when he with me, I don't let him listen to this, and that. And I was like, well, I don't listen to that anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, right. But I want to ask you, because this is something real and this is something we all have to deal with in some shape or form. The promotion of music that is not for children, that is being promoted to children. That's the first part. And then the second part is you're playing musically and how to put positive messages out there for children.
Okay, well, let me start by saying this here. A lot of people ain't gonna speak about these type of things, man. But they have to have an awakening in their mind to wake themselves up. The actual reason why they using these people to make this type of music to this culture is to attack the black people, man, and they in our culture. If I can keep them brainwashed and keep them at a minimum, we got full access and control of them. Let me start by saying that first. You know what I'm saying? That's how the system is designed. But sometimes you got to break that curse and start changing the way that our kids thinking, changing the way what our kids listening to, because nationality, the honest truth, the people that they're using to make the music ain't nothing but teaching our sons how to be drug dealers, jump out your car, come hang out the window and go shoot somebody. These women making music to let her, I have daughters as well, making our daughters be young prostitutes. You ain't got to work. You can just sit there and learn your back and have sex, did this and so. No, that ain't the way. Man, look at Sarah Boyden, man. This was a legend woman. Never did music, but the culture of her body as a black woman, bodies and jaws, showing it around in the whole courtroom of the black woman. Look at Rosa Parks. These people and all these people stood for something for the women. Now it's everything that in turn now is like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out here with high shorts up my ass, this and that, and do this and that. And at the end of the day, when a man get to treating you and handle you the way that you presenting yourself, you mad. You know what I'm saying? And it all becomes up to what you looking at, what you seeing, and guess what? If you think it, you see it, you say it, you do it. You know what I'm saying? So if they promoting this, guess what? You think our kids want to know shit about school? They don't want to hear that. They want to know about how I can go get me some fast money, how I can go take this nigga down. How can I go be a stripper and shake my ass? How can I go sit here and lay on my back and do this here? That's not the way of life, man. That ain't how we was growing up back in the days. You know what I'm saying? Either you gonna make something out of yourself, or guess what? The streets have something to offer you, and guess what? And when you go into the streets, guess what? You only hit it to two places: is the penitentiary and the grave. For them girls, they got sex trafficking going on. They get caught up in the mist. Some get abducted, never see their family again. Some will get abducted and be held for ransom and telling their families like, hey, we need this type of money. Or we gonna kill us, send off to sex trafficking. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of that going on by pollution to the music. So therefore, now on number two, the music that I do are the ones who really trying to put a positive message to pull the people together. They don't want to hear that. They try to hide us or try to sit us down somewhere, you know what I'm saying, and silence us. But I refuse to be silenced. I refuse to let somebody tell me what I can and what I can't do. Because guess what? I don't live by this fairy tale world or the rules, because the people who makes the rules be the first ones to break them. You know what I'm saying? So the music that we as in a culture push out within ourselves, and then when I say the culture, I'm talking about the real rappers, people who really have a story to tell, ones who really can elaborate to where I can sit there and go listen to some real music and come back and sit here and be like, man, I know what this nigga feeling. I know what he done been through. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit done touch me in the right way to where I'm like, dang, I need more of this stuff. It's like good dope. You know what I'm saying? When you got good music, it becomes like good dope because people become hungry. They become hungry for it. You know what I'm saying? But then here it is. I got to be honest too. You got them people that's doing the drill, and they got everybody wanting the drill. Everybody a gangster now. Until they get in that penitentiary, you're going to see who the real gangsters is. Because you ain't got them guns. You ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? But I really feel like it's so messed up nowadays, man, how life is and how it's set up with our men and our women. Because you can't sit here and label yourself as a king when you're not doing what a king doing. You can't label yourself as a queen when you're not setting your standards and protecting your temple as a queen. You know what I'm saying? You're not. You can't label yourself, I'm a king and I'm a queen, because you're not. You're just another black statistic. You know what I'm saying? And whoever get offended by that, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? But real is real, and I stand on that. You know what I'm saying? It's a verse that said, I'll train a child in the way it should go, you know what I'm saying? But if you're not teaching your kids, taking the time out, it's like the generation after generation, they becoming computerized. You know what I'm saying? Computerized. They can't function when you talking to them because the first thing they're always in is in the phone, whether what age they in. The second they can gravitate and learn about the electronics, it's over. But you gotta be smart enough to be like, nah, you gonna know what real life is. Life ain't about being on your phone 24/7. You know what I'm saying? So that all ties down to what are they listening to? The women, what are they pushing out for these young ladies? And for us like parents, we should be the ones to stop and indulge in the act, to tell the kids like, hey, you gonna make me beat your ass if I ever see you doing that such and such again. But that's how our parents used to do us, you feel me? But it's crazy because look where I'm going with it, Brad. You got the parents indulging with this here.
Yeah.
You got the parents who in the clubs with their kids. You got the parents doing these TikToks with these kids. And guess what? That's not a problem if they doing that. You get what I'm saying? But guess what? The problem is you cool with your daughter doing this here. You cool with your son doing this here. Somewhere it got to be put to a stop, man. Because if not, they steady building prisons. They steady building prisons. They steady building prisons, man, for a black kid. And you know, it's something that struck me the other day. They are promoting a baby ankle monitor for a kid with a black kid on it, man. And this is so crazy because they already labeling us as a menace to society. You know what I'm saying? They already look at us fearless because of who we are and what we're capable of. But if you don't tap into that, then, man, that's exactly what they gonna make you become. You know what I'm saying? But I really feel like it's crazy that they do that. I really feel like it's really shocking to see the parents doing those things and interacting with those people doing those type of things with their kids, steady putting them in the right position and moving them in the right way. You know what I mean? Because, like I say, you are what you listen to. If you think it, you said, you do it. You know what I'm saying? And if they not putting positive things in their kids' heads, then guess what? Their kid will go astray. Their kid will run away from home. That young boy will run to the streets for guidance. And guess what? It ain't no guidance in the streets because all it is a road of destruction. Because guess what? I once was one of those childs. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to do those things, but I craved for it. I craved for what the streets wanted. I craved for what the streets had to offer. And guess what? I remember my daddy say, you only headed two places, son, the penitentiary or the grave. And guess where I wound up in the penitentiary. So it's all a warning. Either you can learn or you can fail. Our choice and the decision is in your hands, you know what I'm saying? But I think that's real crazy though, man.
Man, this has been one of the realest conversations I've had all year. I want to, well, before we get up out of here, is there anything you would like to say to anybody?
I just like to say this, man. I always like to start off, man. All praise to Allah, man. Time, man. I just tell everybody, man, the time that you have, man, 86,400 seconds in a day. What you doing with your time? Is it positive? Is it negativity? But, you know, to everybody, you know what I'm saying, that's doing something positive with their life or want to do something positive, man, look, take a deep breath, think about it, plan it out, write it down if you have to, and just stare at it for a while and pray over it or do whatever you have to do. Because we will rise again, man. We will rise again. And I'm a firm believer to that because somewhere down the line, all this is going to change back to how it used to be in the right way. Because guess what? Everything is a cycle. It shifts. Everything has its turn. Everything has its place. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I love everybody, man. Everybody just stay focused. Stay out the way. Remain humble. Be in your kid's life. Take the time out to actually know what your kid feeling. The people that's doing music, keep grinding. Keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Only the strong survive, man. As far as anything else, you know, my name is Etrin Edwards, man, a.k.a. eBay. You know what I mean? Y'all stay tuned to what I have going on. Shout out to Cornbread. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people that's doing real things. Shout out to Beaumont, Texas. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ville Platte. Shout out to all my family members. I love y'all. Free Kinski, free Booby. You know what I'm saying? Ken folks in Angola, you know what I'm saying? Free all my homies that I was in the chain gang with. Solid niggas down there, man. Kept it solid, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much what I gotta say. But at the end of the day, man, shit, I love everybody, man. Peace and blessings.
And on behalf of eBay, I am Cornbread Capone. This is Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip-hop music. And as always, everybody, peace and love, because that's what the world needs right now in a major way. Peace and love. Man.
That's it, man.